Now for the young man, his mother Kay, Michael Spinks, all yelling encouragement. He took one coming in that time.
And he gave a very low blow to Ali and then came back with a hook while Ali was looking at him.
He thinks he's got Ali in trouble.
Wait, did you all just see this? Because I need to make sure I saw this correctly. Now this fight right here was the heavyweight championship bout all the way back in 1978, and the man who's dishing this beating is Leon Spinks, while the man on the receiving end is Muhammad Ali, who was still visibly in the tail end of his prime. Now not only was this rookie's performance entirely unprecedented back in 1978, Spinks managed to pull this off against one of the greatest fighters in history. But to the bewilderment of the thousands that night and the millions of watchers across the globe, this fight would ultimately reshape the entire course of this young man's career. Entering the boxing scene out of St. Louis, Leon Spinks began his professional career at just the age of 23. Before turning pro, Leon had great success at the amateur level by accumulating a total record of 178 wins to 8 losses while achieving 133 knockouts. While at the international level, he accumulated numerous medals by winning AAU titles within 3 consecutive years, a silver medal during the Pan American Games in '75, and was also a gold medalist during the Summer Olympics in Montreal of '76. And on paper, it was certainly true that Leon was no average Joe within the ring and was undoubtedly a great fighting prospect. At this very point, Spinks clearly lacked the recognition he rightfully deserved due to what he had accomplished. Not many fighters back then, or heck even now within today's era, were able to obtain half of what he had accomplished during the 70s. Although deep down he believed himself to be a formidable fighter within the division, it felt as though many journalists, as well as many others, were still yet to acknowledge this reality, and was still on the cusp of obtaining a chance to prove himself, to ultimately experience a life-changing breakthrough to propel his professional career. And then came the people's champion Muhammad Ali, who at the time was 35 years of age, and was coming off probably the greatest comeback run of his career, and maybe within the entire history of the division. Now at this point, Ali was undisputed as the current reigning 2-time heavyweight champion of the world after acquiring the WBA, the WBC, and the Ring Championship titles. And throughout his early to mid-30s, Ali had fought extremely tough opponents along the way, with the likes of Floyd Patterson, Ken Norton, George Foreman, and Joe Frazier to name a few. And during this period, he had experienced a couple of setbacks in form of 2 career losses. In the spring of '71, Ali acquired his first career loss to Joe Frazier in way of split decision, which ultimately rendered his record to 31 wins and a single loss. And then 2 years later, Ali had lost again to Ken Norton in favor of split decision to the challenger. Now the heavyweight champion had a decision to make. He had now just lost twice within a period of 2 years while only being 13 years into his boxing career. Despite encountering 2 setback losses, this was still nowhere near the end of Muhammad Ali as we all recognize him to be. And then, just then, everything changed. Ali hit the weight room and went back to the drawing board to reevaluate his game plan. And oh boy, did he reevaluate. Within the next 10 months, Ali went on to avenge both his losses and achieved a victory by unanimous decision against Frazier in '74 and a split decision victory against Norton in '73. Ali further wreaked havoc by winning 13 of his next scheduled bouts by winning 6 of those by mid-fight stoppages, and was finally back on track on public display in cementing his greatness to the entire boxing world. And then shortly after defeating Ernie Shavers, Ali and his team sought after an easy fight for his next bout, with potentially a fighter with little to no experience. With a bit of searching, Ali and his team had found their next opponent, and this being the young fighter out of St. Louis. At this point, the young challenger had only fought 7 professional scheduled bouts while achieving 5 knockout victories, with 1 win by decision and a single draw, whereas Ali walked into the fight with a current record of 55 wins and 2 losses to his name. With the fight set to the 15th of February 1978 in Las Vegas, Nevada, the fight between Leon Spinks and Muhammad Ali was now underway.
Muhammad Ali. People all around the world watching as we get underway. Spinks trying to get in underneath, going to work on that body. Ali covering up on the ring, trying to absorb the punishment, hoping Leon can...
And Ali does that phony baloney baiting act of his. And Ali very flat-footed, you see. Ali, and then came back with a hook while Ali was looking at him.
He thinks he's got Ali in trouble.
close your mouth. Just go.
He looks just like Ali of 10 years ago, and yet he's 36.
Moving and sticking, and Spinks trying to... Then we're going to be back for a decision as we wind down one of the great nights in the history of the heavyweight division. What a fight. It's over. We'll be back.
Well, damn. He lost. To the surprise of many watchers that night, Spinks put on a show as he not only defeated Ali, but also dominated the former champ in superior fashion. During the opening rounds, Spinks came out with much more intensity while the former champ was on the back foot as he absorbed the challenger's onslaught of powerful body shots. While in the middle rounds, Ali applied much more pressure by displaying swift footwork as he landed multiple crushing jabs. Even despite this great effort, there were many times that Spinks would force Ali over to the ropes to ultimately suppress his ability to freely move. And so Ali never really got the opportunity to slow down the efforts of the young challenger. And to simply put it, Spinks demonstrated a more proactive game plan, whereas Ali showed a more reactive one. And then finally by the 15th round, Ali in desperation made an effort to land huge shots on the challenger as the fight drew much closer to the end. But Leon, showing great heart and endurance, also matched his pace by not quitting until the very end. And then immediately after the final bell, Leon's corner rushed into the ring in sheer belief that he had won the fight. With just a few moments later, Leon, also known as Neon Spinks, officially won his first championship fight and had now stolen the throne of the greatest heavyweight fighter at the time. At just the age of 24, Spinks beat all the odds and had finally defeated the former champion, meaning that Muhammad Ali would lose his third career fight to now become the new undisputed heavyweight champion of the world by simultaneously holding the WBA, WBC and the Ring Championship titles.
Leon Spinks is a good man. He's
I met him some
intelligent,
time ago.
and he's a gentleman, and he's a clean fighter, and he's a good fighter, and people have to give him credit because he won that night. I was a little off guard. I made no excuses, but he won. And if he can win twice, this is why it's so important for a champion to defeat the man he beat twice for the title.
What's going on here?
Well, as you know, Leon Spinks is the new champion for about another 4 months.
Now pause right here. Let me take the opportunity to say that no lies here were told whatsoever. Ali said what he meant and really meant what he said. And if you didn't know, Ali was a man of his word and was more than certainly capable in backing his words with action. Although this young fighter broke history by slaying the once unbeatable dragon within the heavyweight division, Ali simply wasn't going to let this one slide. And if there is one thing that we might just learn from boxing within the 70s, it's that Muhammad Ali always gets the last laugh.
お前はもう死んでいる。
That's what's supposed to be.
Oh, quick moving, Spinks. 30 seconds remaining in round two. Those one misses. That one. Ali slaps Spinks in the head with a left jab. They're in Ali's corner now.
I think, what will this do to him if he goes to round 8, 9, and 10? He's building up such a lead that Spinks...
Two great shots. Oh, a great alley. I guarantee you it'll be some outstanding round. I'll find out that.
And it's going to be the closest thing that's ever been. And he is dancing.
1-2. Going after him again. Back knockdowns in this fight. Neither fighter has been really hurt. That is about it, folks. It's all over.
Ali is the world heavyweight champion for the third time, and here comes the Ali circus.
All right, there's the ring announcer.
Referee
again.
Spinks, the new champion, Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali, the new champion.
Well, I want to tell you, Dr. Ferdy Pacheco, you called it. You said this is going to be maybe one of the most one-sided decisions in the heavyweight.
Despite wherever you're from, or whatever you've achieved, or whoever you've beaten, it didn't matter, because Ali will be the one to beat you at your very own game, all the while having you take notes during the entire process, and would literally have you contemplating the very fact of your personal life choices. No matter what, it really goes to show that Muhammad Ali was just a different breed. Thank you all for tuning into this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.